The overall conviction among most specialists is that the hypothesis of how things came to be stays the fundamental explanation for the early seasons of the universe. This speculation joins the progress of stars, planets, etc. remembering life for those planets, including ourselves, not navigating. It's a genuinely odd theory named the huge explosion. It offers an illuminating evaluation concerning what could have occurred. At first, the universe was thick in a short space, more certified than a pinhead, with particles thick stupefied from this second. A monster impact of issue and energy happened, known as the enormous detonation. This occasion, happening billions of years prior, set up the spreading out of tremendous history. Anyway, levels of progress in veritable data have set off developing peculiarities with the presumptions of this theory when NASA sent off the James Webb Space Telescope, the best and most exceptional space science observatory ever. Specialists speculated that its discernments would affirm the hypothesis of the universe's starting points. Unfortunately, following a year in space, the telescope dumbfounded specialists with its capacity to dock so profoundly into the universe's past. The James Webb Telescope's stunning cutoff points have uncovered countless worlds, going as far back to a period so old that it challenges how we might decipher the universe's beginnings. This revelation has touched off an uncommon evaluation into what existed before the huge explosion. One imperative second in this mission happened when cosmologist Rohan Natu, working with information from the telescope out of nowhere, found a system from simply a short time frame after the enormous detonation, making it the most far-off universe at any point. Saw NASA's disclosure sent shockwaves through laid-out specialists, featuring the staggering limits of the James Webb Telescope, its fundamental target to change our perspective on the universe, has simply started promising to uncover surprising bits of knowledge into the earliest times of the universe's presence. This period, barely dissected beforehand, holds the way to understanding the improvement of the main stars and systems. The telescope's exposures have conflicted with beginning hypotheses, uncovering universes with credits outperforming past assumptions. This unprecedented flood of early cosmic systems has lighted a tempest of logical request, provoking specialists to oblige these revelations with existing theories. As researchers grapple with these divulgences, they face urgent inquiries regarding the actual idea of the universe and the powers that molded its improvement. Past the James Webb Telescope's headways, which are steady, it is found 1.5 million km away from Earth, protected from typical impedance and cooled to almost outright zero by its tennis court-sized sun safeguard. The telescope incorporates a monstrous sectioned, reflect and strikingly delicate instruments intended to uncover subtleties of the early universe. Recently covered up this period, known as the incomparable daybreak, occurred around 200 or 300 million years after the enormous detonation, denoting the second when the principal stars and cosmic systems started to shape structure. The cycle by which this unfurled stays a subject of extreme review, with speculations going from the impacts of dull matter and dim energy to the cooperations between star framing gas and residue. The telescope's perspective on universes from the colossal first light presents a strange chance for cosmologists to test how they might decipher these complicated parts. By examining these old cosmic systems, researchers can either affirm the legitimacy of their ebb and flow models or uncover holes in understanding that could prompt vital new revelations. At first, the telescope was supposed to notice a couple of feeble and little worlds in its pilot concentrates anyway. Reality has far surpassed these suspicions. The telescope's initial pictures of the far-off universe revealed a flood of worlds with ages, sizes and splendor levels that tested all gauges. This dazzling flood of early cosmic systems has set off a race among space specialists to lay out new records for the earliest known cosmic systems, with new disclosures arising consistently, leaving conventional experts in wonder. Following the James Webb Telescope's revelations, trained professionals and eyewitnesses have hurried to concentrate on the presence of these remarkably progressed early universes. A few conjectured that blunders in the telescope's translation of significant perceptions could be liable for these unanticipated disclosures. That said, the agreement stays that these disclosures address a change by the way we could decipher the early universe and proposition energizing look into the potential for grandiose development. The new disclosures from the James Webb Space Telescope have brought up major questions about the idea of the universe and tested the suppositions of standard cosmological models. While certain researchers are investigating whether these discernments can be obliged with existing theories, others recommend that they might be the primary signs that the universe is undeniably more perplexing and confounding than recently envisioned. The genuine inquiry in question is our essential comprehension of how the universe we know emerged from early-stage turmoil. The early disclosures of the JWST could reshape our major thoughts of enormous history, uncovering experiences on far-off worlds and old designs, as well as on the actual idea of our own smooth way as Imprint McFadden, senior researcher for science and examination at the European Space Organization, puts it: you construct these machines not to affirm hypothesis yet to break it. You truly have no clue about how it will break. The starting points of the JWST can be followed back to the Space Telescope science establishment's SKY in 1985, even before the Hubble Space Telescope was sent off at the time. Where then, at that point, head of SKY was entrusted with envisioning what could come after Hubble. Regardless of starting questions, Weir and a little gathering started laying the basis for what might ultimately turn into the James Webb Space Telescope, dissimilar to Hubble, which basically catches apparent light. The JWST was intended to see in the infrared range, permitting it to peer a lot further into the universe. This capacity is vital for concentrating on far-off systems whose light has been extended into the infrared because of the extension of the universe, making them undetectable to telescopes like Hubble with its monster cold star-like mirror. The JWST turned into the chief instrument for opening the mysteries of vast sunrise. The requirement for the JWST was featured in 1995, when the Hubble Profound Field Perception uncovered innumerable systems in what was accepted to be a void fix of sky. This disclosure showed the extravagance of the early universe and highlighted the requirement for a telescope equipped for testing a lot further into infinite history. Following 20 depleting long periods of improvement and an expense of around $1 billion, the JWST was at last sent off on December 25, 2021. By July 2022, it was prepared to start its most critical year of logical perceptions. Early undertakings, for example, the Early Delivery Science Program and the overall Eyewitness Program, were explicitly intended to look for early worlds. While starting assumptions were unobtrusive, the outcomes far surpassed them. JWST perceptions have tested existing models of the early universe, uncovering universes that oppose conventional cosmological suspicions. These wonderful revelations underscore the significance of pushing the limits of logical request and feature the abilities to astound of cutting-edge advancements like the James Webb Space Telescope. As specialists keep on investigating JWS information, they might uncover further experiences that test and grow how we comprehend the universe. When the principal information started coming in from the JWST, cosmologists enthusiastically expected the outcomes. Many had been setting up their information examination pipelines for this second for a really long time, instead of following the customary companion survey process, which frequently requires months. Scientists decided to share their revelations on preprint waiters like A14, a stage for research papers that haven't yet been peer-evaluated. This approach considered another type of peer review to occur through virtual entertainment stages like Twitter, where standard specialists could rapidly examine discoveries. Rohan Natu portrayed this cycle as science by official statement, and the resulting tempest of conversation was both uncommon and overpowering. Anyway, there were worries about the possible downsides of this quick spread of results proclamation model. A JWST project researcher at SKY cautioned that while the quick sharing of results works with fast scattering and conversation, there is likewise the gamble of overpowering the interaction. The general comprehension among most specialists is that the theory of how things came to be stays the main clarification for the early seasons of the universe. This speculation remembers the improvement of stars, planets, and life for those planets, including ourselves. In spite of its great name, the huge explosion offers an expansive clarification for what could have occurred at the universe's beginnings. The universe was thickly stuffed into a space more modest than a pinhead loaded up with thickly pressed particles. From this second, a monstrous effect of issue and energy happened, known as the enormous detonation. This occasion, happening billions of years prior, set up for the unfurling of infinite history. Anyway, changes in logical information have prompted developing irregularities with the suppositions hidden. This hypothesis, when NASA sent off the James Webb Space Telescope, the biggest and most exceptional space science observatory at any point, fabricated. Analysts conjectured that its perceptions would uphold the hypothesis of the universe's starting points. Tragically, after only 1 year in space, the telescope stunned researchers with its capacity to peer profoundly into the universe's past. The James Webb Space Telescope's unprecedented capacities have uncovered systems tracing all the way back to such old times that they challenge how we might interpret the universe's starting points. This revelation has started in extreme examination concerning what existed before the enormous detonation. These revelations have touched off serious examination concerning what existed before the enormous detonation. While the discoveries from the James Webb Space Telescope keep on testing our comprehension, they are opening new roads for investigation and revelation. Numerous specialists presently accept that the responses to a portion of the universe's most huge inquiries might lie in these early perceptions, and that our flow models should be overhauled or totally reconsidered the presence of these far-off old worlds proposes that the universe might have advanced in manners that were beforehand impossible. It likewise brings up central issues about the actual idea of time-space and vast advancement. The ramifications of these disclosures stretch out a long ways past the area of cosmology. They can possibly reshape how we might interpret physical science, the regulations overseeing the universe, and, surprisingly, the starting points of life itself. As the James Webb Space Telescope keeps on social affair that its revelations could offer significant experiences into the initial couple of moments of the universe, the development of the earliest cosmic systems, and the very processes that prompted the ascent of stars and other enormous designs. These disclosures could at last assist with responding to well-established inquiries concerning the beginnings of the universe and the powers that molded its improvement, giving a more complete and exact image of our infinite history. In the years to come, analysts will keep on concentrating on the information returned by the JWST, characterizing their models of the early universe and testing new speculations about the key powers and particles that molded the universe. As the telescope reveals more about the universe's previous, we will come to see more about the present and the fate of our universe. The James Webb Space Telescope has proactively shown to be a momentous instrument, and its revelations will probably proceed to shock and move mainstream researchers into the indefinite future.